Today, I want to address something a whole lot of people have asked about. When did the whole Vanessa Hudgens thing get started? Now, if you've been to my website or seen my Amazon author page or looked at my author bio in the back of my book, my About the Author page, which apparently takes me a few times to flip to, my About the Author page, the last line on all of these is that I am still waiting for Vanessa Hudgens to reply to one of my tweets. And if you're watching this video, chances are I'm still waiting for her to reply to one of my tweets. So how did this start? Well, let's rewind back to 2011 and a movie named Sucker Punch. Vanessa Hudgens was in Sucker Punch. I watched it in the theater. And in that movie, spoiler alert, if you can have a spoiler 10 years after the fact, there is a scene where her and her team are facing off against these evil steampunk soldiers, and she throws if I remember correctly, is an axe in one of the steampunk soldiers' faces. And at that moment, I'm like, that's my kind of lady. What can I say? I like 'em badass. So with that in mind, that's sort of when the appreciation began. Now, at the same time, I'm a music journalist, working in indie music, still do work in indie music. And being where I live, I get invited to a lot of shows in New York City. I go to a lot of shows in New York City. Oftentimes, those invites will come with a +1. So I am oftentimes a person who can bring someone to a show, although I usually don't, for a variety of reasons. One, I know lists are limited, and sometimes it comes out of the artist or the publicist, and I'm not down with that. But most of the time, it's because, you know what? You find out about some of these pretty last minute, and sometimes you can't find someone who wants to go to a show at 9:30 on a Tuesday. I'm always down, obviously, but it can get tricky. All that said, I'm getting these invites. I'm getting these +1 invites, and for the fun of it, I just sent out on Twitter one day. I think this was either like 2012 or 2013. Sent a tweet that said, "Hey, I'm going to see so and so a band at such and such venue in New York. Someone let Vanessa Hudgens know she can be my +1." Some friends retweeted it. Some friends laughed at it. It was a good time. I sent it out knowing there was no chance she would ever see it. I am not so naive as to think she is checking her @mentions for random people. Also, as someone who's seen my female friends' regular @mentions, I can only imagine how disturbing, disgusting, terrifying, and horrifying the @mentions are of a celebrity woman. So I would actually hope she doesn't check her @mentions based on some of what I've seen, like I said, on some friends' @mentions. So I sent out that tweet, had a good time, and kind of like for some reason, I decided a few months later to do it again. But I switched it up. I was like, someone let her know I can put her on the list, or someone let her know the first round is on me. And it became a good time with me and my friends retweeting, getting some laughs. And then it sort of built up because some publicist friends of mine would jokingly send the invite to me and say, "Hey, can you come see such and such a band? We'll put Vanessa on the list for you." So it sort of became like a running theme in my life. And fast forward to me writing a book about my life, well, a year of my life, and having a bio in there. And I said, we got to continue this. We got to keep it going. So I threw it in the bio that I'm still waiting to hear back from her from one of my tweets, knowing I never will, or knowing I likely never will. And yeah, it's just been a weird, fun, cool thing, and she'll probably never know about it, but we're all having a blast. I remember when I was rehabbing from my lung surgery, from having part of a lung removed. Cancer's freaking fun, guys. I had to be on the treadmill the whole time for like 2 weeks because I had all these stitches in me and I was trying to get my breathing back. You can really read all about it. But my buddies who own the gym I work out at, They put up a picture of Vanessa Hudgens in front of the treadmill so I'd have something to look at. So there's video of me somewhere of literally like running towards her. Although I guess it's not really running because I was rehabbing. So it was mall walking quickly towards her while learning how to breathe again. So does she get credit for my rehab? Anyways, that's the Vanessa Hudgens story. Maybe one day I'll meet her. Who freaking knows? But that was the origin. That's how it went. And I will still occasionally invite her to shows, and she will never know it. She's probably been invited to like at least 30 or 40 shows by now over the course of the past, like, what, 8 or 9 years? And she doesn't even know it. All the great indie music she could have seen. Damn it. Anyways, that's the story. I'll come back next week with more stories. Peace.